This is the regular meeting of the Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish, November 29, 2022. We'll start our regular meeting at 6:12 p.m. Just because some traffic issues on the bridge, some of our commissioners may be stuck in that traffic, but we're gonna, well, thank you, Ms. Bellick. So they're coming in, so we'll go ahead and start our meeting. So if you would, we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so currently we have present myself, Commissioner Woods, we have Commissioner Bailey, Commissioner Bellock, representing our government, and Commissioner Jackson. First on this agenda, we will ask you to just review the minutes. Any comments or questions or corrections in the minutes? No comments or anything?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair, I'd like to pass a motion to accept the minutes.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bailey to accept. Second. Seconded by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Ayes have it. The motion carries. Our minutes are approved as presented. Ms. Yolanda, you're prepared for something with low rent? Or any questions on? Okay. Yeah, so ready for your presentation on the low rent and HCVP.
I'll start with the VMS for Section 8. For portable vouchers paid is 8. All other vouchers are $198. The half amount was $153,826. ACV
exactly where you are
with the VMS
So we're
on the
Voucher
third
management.
page. Yes.
The VMS report, so pass the financials. That one right there. There we go.
Got it.
You
Got
ready,
it.
ma'am? Yes. Okay, go ahead.
HCVO vouchers help expenses after the first of the month was $728. Total vouchers was 206. The number of vouchers leased under HAP contract under the last day was 206. Vouchers not under HAP contract, the last day of the month was 8.
And who are these under? When you say it's not under?
Say that again?
When you say it's not under HAP contract, what are you
Meaning
telling
that
me?
they're still searching for somewhere. They've been given a voucher and they're still searching.
So we have about 8 people still searching.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Portable vouchers administered 12.
What page is that on? Excuse me.
Page 3.
Yes. And when you say portable vouchers, just for people know.
People that ported in,
People coming into our authority,
yes,
okay? That we receive funds for and
Correct.
to administer, okay? Very good.
okay. We're gonna go to, under the Executive Director Report, HCV, General Activities as of October the 31st. We have port out searching, that's 10. Port out leased up, paying 8. Port ins leased up, billing 12. Port ins searching for housing, 14. We don't have any end of participation. Payments as of
Do
October.
we have, not something, do we have any people that's in our authority that's searching? That has vouchers and searching, that comes from us?
Yes.
That would be the port out, right?
No, he's saying our people, that is, we call that a change of unit.
Yes.
But they still get a voucher to search. We do have some.
And then why I'm asking that question, just to kind of emphasize, and I know I said this, that we really are in this housing crisis in the parish and around the nation where people need houses.
Correct.
We hear that question almost every day, and we just need the help as we can get it, and which hoping our transition will, what I call our conversion, will help with this. So that's, I particularly want to know that. Let people know that we are aware with the housing situation, just don't have the places to put the bodies.
Right,
Thank you.
okay. Our payment is $174,638.36. The HAP and UR payments were $155,339. Outgoing was $8,007. Incoming was $10,849. And admin fees were $443.36. For low rent, there's 100 in total units, 129. Units leased, 48. Units vacant as of August was 60. They have 21 mod units. There's no move-ins, one move-out. Total rent collected for October was $14,701.60.
I want to interject right here. Based on the conversation we had with our development partners, one of the things that we were afraid of was the impact of doing ready units on our tax credit application. Commissioner Woods and I had a conference call with the development partner, and he stated that it would be okay if we do cosmetic and safety. No, nothing serious.
Yes.
Just to make them safety. So with that being said, we've started the process. We have a contractor that he finished 10 today. Go ahead.
Friday's supposed to be his last day finishing them up. Friday, yeah.
And Chris and Charles, 3 of them, as we have people that we've had a lot of deceased activity lately. So in a unit where that was occupied, or if somebody was evicted, or if they moved out, Chris and Charles are working on those. So that's 3. When we finish this 10, they're looking at other units, and we might have to do RFP. It depends on how it affects our procurement process.
So it'll be 13 total, so they get 3 and the contract is doing 10? Oh, 10 total.
It's a total of 10.
Total
I say
of 10.
13. It's a total of 10. Now, with that 10, 7 of those units, we're moving the last 7 families in Hornville.
Yeah.
Right,
And we plan to do that next week. We're moving them all at one time.
right.
Good deal.
So with that being said, once they finish with the 10 that they're doing, we're going to do an assessment to see the cost. If the cost is below our threshold and we don't have to do RFP, then we just go and solicit 3 bids. The guys that's there right now, I'm very pleased with them. And Chris will tell you about the type of work that they're doing, but their cost is very reasonable. Okay, Yolanda, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh.
With that, I have two questions. One, pest control stuff. That's better, all the issues with pest control and critters and stuff?
Once we told him to start going into every room, we haven't been having as many complaints.
Right.
Okay, good deal.
And we cleaned out all the vacant units. We had a contractor come out and clean out every vacant unit because they were
Yeah.
living in the vacant units.
Okay, good deal. And next question, Ms. Hall, I'm going to say this at the right time, but I'm going to ask you a real-life question compared to the phone calls that we get, people asking for somewhere to live. And I had a situation. So what would be the keep us in compliance answer to this individual? So an individual wants to come to us, has a place, has a landlord, but the landlord wants this individual to move in their place. How does that work with us staying in compliance?
If the individual has a voucher, if they already have a voucher, that's none of our business where they move. That unit has to pass inspection. If the unit, that tenant with the voucher contacts Ms. Prevost, Ms. Prevost schedule a appointment. If the landlord is already on our program, if he's that's what you said, right?
The landlord isn't.
Okay, if the landlord isn't, she scheduled an appointment to have the landlord sign up. On our website, he can literally go download the application, fill out the application, upload it on our website.
Okay, good.
And once that's done, the tenant will contact Ms. Prevost. Ms. Prevost will schedule an inspection. If it fails the inspection, then we give them a notice of what failed, and they have to fix it. At that point, Mr. Taylor goes out. The same person can inspect one unit. As it relates to people, we get a lot of phone calls. We have a serious issue with people needing housing. But HUD has a federal regulation, has nothing to do with our program. They have to be on the waiting list. And there is a process of pulling them off the waiting list.
And I think that's what I wanted. I asked the question for a reason, so the public would know what the process is, and it's not anything that we control. So, Ms. Yolanda, did you have something?
Also, that landlord cannot be related, because we have some that tries to do that.
And that's
Cannot
what
be related.
and that's what the question is about, to keep it real so people know the real situations that we deal with every day and why the situation is like it is.
And that information is also on our website. It's on our website. We have the big bold letters. Section 8 program is not open. When we open a Section 8 program, there is a legal process we have to go through. We have to do a public notice. We have to notify them on the date that it's going to occur. And at that point, on that date, that's when you see the lines outside. You've seen it on the news.
Yeah. Okay.
So how does it work if a handicapped person applies and they're to the back of the line, but they have special needs? Do they get moved ahead, or?
They do not get moved ahead, but we'll do what we can because we have compassion to make them as comfortable as possible. But it does be their handicap situation does not give them preference, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Something to, if I add to that question, but if they are on our waiting list and all of this and everything else is good, do we make the available unit ADA or it's a handicap compliant?
A low rent. That's two different issues.
Yes.
We control low rent. So we will definitely do the ADA compliance.
Yes, okay.
We have ADA compliance units. And as people age, we have an aging population. Maintenance go in there and they address it. I mean, we can't make the doors wider, but we're going to make sure they have all of the amenities that we can put inside of the unit. As it relates to the Section 8 person who's handicapped, then we don't search for them. They have to look for something.
Yes.
It's up to the landlord
Got it.
to provide the ADA features.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if a landlord chooses to accept a tenant that needs the ADA features, then the landlord has to supply it on their dime to make sure that, the person that moves in an apartment will have those features.
Okay.
And another thing I think for me, I think a big thing is doing outreach to landlords, because we can have a bunch of people on, with vouchers, but we need places. The bigger issue to me is places to put them. So hopefully we have a good outreach to landlords out there to educate them about the program, The website is really easy to go on and access. If they want to sign up, they can go and pull the documentation. I think they even sign up on the website.
Yeah, they
Or,
can.
or if they rather do it on paper, then there's a place where you can go and you could download the papers and print them out, and then you can bring them to the office once you fill them out.
Correct.
But we do need more landlords.
We were aggressive before the shutdown. I mean, I met with every broker in St. Charles Parish. They actually would allow me to come to their staff meetings and share. Some people felt comfortable, some people didn't feel comfortable. Our biggest problem was the misnomer, the misunderstanding of affordable housing and what type of person would come into their unit. So, and that was another thing that influenced us to modify our website. Because if there's a dispute between a landlord and a tenant, then we had to go through a hearing process. Because we can't go by she said or he said. We cannot respond to that. So one of the features in the landlord portal is if something happened, if you got videos, you got pictures, you put it up there. That's cut and dry.
Yeah.
So, that's what we were focusing on. We wanted to help the landlord feel comfortable. And another thing we did was we modified, we didn't modify it, but we went up to 110% so that we could be more competitive
With the market.
and with the market. Yeah, so those things, we're going to have to get back into that because the Section 8 program will be our biggest program.
All right. Any more comments? If not, we'll move on to the maintenance report. Mr. Curtis, anything for us tonight?
That was like mainly it because, like I said, Agape, they got their 7 units, should be done Friday.
Okay.
We're going to do our walkthrough, go through it. Me and Charles working on them 3 units. Got 1 finished already, 1 almost done. That's mainly about it.
Okay. All right.
And all deferred maintenance are good, huh?
Yes, sir.
So
Okay.
able to keep up with everything.
We trying.
Trying, all right. Yeah.
All right. Good deal. That's what we want to hear. All righty. Just a general agency update, Ms. Hollis.
Sure. We have 3 things that I would like to talk about. FEMA today. Well, the FEMA process will be completed, but they have a layer of certification processes. Today we finished the final, which was the final certification. GOSEP has had our check ready for 30 days. But no, for real, GOSEP, there's a process there. GOSEP processes the check, and then they send it to a state agency that administers the check. The check went to the state agency, and the state agency sent it back to GOSEP because we did not have a vendor number. So we discovered what the problem was in our conference. We have that conference call with GOSEP and FEMA. So we discovered what that was, and then they sent the email this morning, and we now have our VIN number. So we will get that check.
When you say GOSEP, you mean from the governor's office?
Governor's Office of Homeland Security.
I just wanted the acronym.
I think it's awesome that they're giving us money.
Yeah.
But they're making us whole from the evacuation.
Yes. Okay. Good.
And we
deal.
didn't caught that up because we don't touch our admin. That admin money from HCB, that's our money, and we don't spend it. The only thing that come out of it is Yolanda's salary. That's it. And we have things that we could do. What we used to do was prorate. Remember, you used to ask why this check?
Yeah.
And we haven't been prorating because the goal was to start paying that money back.
Yeah.
Because we used some of that money in order to facilitate the cost or to pay back Houston Housing Authority for what they paid for our people when we evacuated them. So, yeah.
Okay.
The third thing is the third thing we kind of like went over it, which is the situation about doing I don't want to say redevelopment, but doing a make ready for those units. That's going to be very important. I think once I get a report from maintenance, depending on what they say, I think what we have left is like the worst of the worst. Is that correct? And if that's the case, then I'm going to have to hire an architect to do what's called HUD has a process to do a cost estimate. We have to start with our own cost estimate. From that cost estimate, then we create a RFP. We have to advertise that RFP.
What's an RFP?
Request for proposal. Request for proposal. We The other thing that we're going to have to do in that process is we're going to have to start marketing. We're going to have to start marketing.
Okay.
And the good thing about that is that, well, there's some things that changed to the voluntary conversion program. When we first did our application, which was 2 years ago, the process was there was a threshold date. Any tenant that lived in our units from October 1st of 2019, whether they were still there or not, that would be counted as a unit we would get a voucher for. They've changed that. So the change is that only the occupied units. So if we got 49 people right now, we would only get 49 vouchers. So we're about to fill it up.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go back to the goal set.
Yes.
Do you know how much the goal set will be? And
It's 67,000.
67,000. Will it be going to our conversion?
No, it's going to our operation.
Gotcha.
Conversion, Hurricane Ida was devastating. But Hurricane Ida literally saved our butt. Because of the length of time it has taken our application to go through the trek. When you put your budget together, your budget is based on the numbers that's available at the time. Interest rate was 2%. Interest rate now is 7%. So that has grossly increased our budget. And based on the money that we receive for insurance, based on the way that we have gone through the process of the repairs from the insurance, we done replaced every roof, everything in Hornville, everything in Boutique. And did we do the office? We did the office, and we saved a big hit on that. So as we move forward, whatever we do, we're gonna go out our way to save money. And then it's been we've been blessed because our development partners is stuck by our side. They've done a new source and usage. Well, he's working on it. He said he's working on it, right?
Yeah.
He's working on a new source and usage, but he's comfortable that we are going to be okay financially to move forward. And then when HUD was at the office, I need to do some homework on it, but HUD said we could submit our tax credit application now.
Should be able to.
4%. We're participating in the tax credit process, which is non-competitive. Normally you compete, 8% you compete. But our process is non-competitive. And if it is correct and we can submit, we need to submit and tie our money up.
I agree.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. Moving on, there's some board action, a couple of resolutions we're hoping to have some agreement on. The first resolution is Resolution 22-29-11. And it's a resolution authorizing to solicit a legislative auditor. And I'll just read it into the record. Whereas the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority has operated for an extended period of time with a month-to-month agreement with the existing fee accountant.
That should not be in there.
That's not the right one.
Uh-oh, I got what you...
No, that's language that I did. Well, let me
Right.
fix it. Well, this is the last one anyway. Start with the first one.
Okay.
We have operation budget, and then we have the
Adopt.
5-year plan.
Okay. This is still to solicit an auditor. Then I just go through my agenda and read it.
Go through your agenda. This is the
Sorry.
one I just saw.
And it's in the back of the folder here. Okay, I'll just read the one that was in the agenda. We'll start this again. We've got the 5-year plan and operating budget. We're going to do the operating budget first. Resolution 22-29-11, approving St. Charles Parish Housing Authority 2023 operating budget. Whereas the regulations of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development require the commissioners of a public housing agency to approve an operating budget, whereas the commissioners of the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority have reviewed the 2023 operating budget and do find that the proposed expenditures are necessary for the efficient and economic operation of the program for the purpose of serving low-income families, that the financial plan is reasonable in that it includes sources of funding adequate to cover all proposed expenditures, and it does provide for the use of federal funding in excess of that payable under the provisions of the annual contributions contract. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority hereby certify that the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority is in compliance with the annual contributions contract, and whereas the Board of Commissioners of the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority hereby certify that the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority is in compliance with the requirement of the annual contributions contract, and that rents and utility allowance calculations have been or will be adjusted in accordance with the current HUD requirements and regulations. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the fiscal year 2023 operating budget be hereby approved by the Board of Commissioners of the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority.
Can I interject? You just finished reading that. The budget is not attached. The budget has already been submitted. That is a correction on our part because that resolution should have been done before we submitted the budget. And the budget was submitted to the board in the month of September.
Okay, and this resolution is catching up with what we submitted.
It's helping us to get in compliance.
Okay. Haven't had this read. Any questions, comments, or anything? If not, we'll take a motion.
The chair would like to pass a motion to approve resolution 22-29-11, approving the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority 2023 operational budget.
Motion by Commissioner Bailey to accept.
I second.
Second, Ms. Bellick. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries with majority.
We need to put this on record, so read it starting here.
Solicit state of.
Mr. First, yeah.
Okay, this is where we are. All right. Okay, the next item is going to be the approving of resolution number 2-22-2911, a resolution requesting authorization to solicit a legislative auditor. Whereas the existing agreement has been in force for an extended period of time with no review of which services continue to be needed and which services can be performed by another entity or the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority, and whereas St. Charles Parish Housing Authority desires to ensure the services of a group that dedicates more time and concentration on specific SCPHA concerns with the receipt of deliverables in a more timely manner, and whereas it is prudent for SPHA to resolicit after a number of years in the existing relationship, therefore the Board of Commissioners are respectfully requested to authorize the Executive Director to publish, distribute, and consider responses to the attached request for a proposal, RFP, for legislative auditor. The proposal will be available for distribution immediately upon authorization. After a review and evaluation, recommendations will be presented to the Board for approval. St. Charles Parish Housing Authority Board of Commissioners authorizes the Executive Director to solicit via an RFP for a legislative auditor effective immediately upon approval by the Board at the regularly scheduled November 29, 2022 Board meeting. Motion is read. Any questions or comments?
I do have a comment. That one is not on the agenda.
That's one that came from the floor.
Okay, so that's on the.
It came from the floor. These are the copies. I thought we passed them down. Minus the first paragraph. The issue here, based on communication we had previously about the legislative auditor and some things that had happened in the past, HUD has deadlines. So we need to select one because there's a letter that we need to select. And based on communication that I had today, we're behind.
So the auditor, we don't have no agreement with the current auditor, right?
The contract is up. He's been sending letters to you guys. because I haven't been responding, but I've not been responding based on the communication we previously had.
Right.
You said he's been sending letters to us?
Yeah. I know he's been sending letters to where? He sent one, Yolanda, where did you get that letter from today? Oh, he sent it by mail? Yeah.
No, but I said I hadn't received anything.
Mr. J has.
I mean, I'm okay with it because I think it's time that we make a change.
And,
So I'll go ahead because I mean, let's see what else is out there. So let's
And
pass
he
a
can,
motion to.
and he can respond.
this individual, so make sure
He
we,
can respond
Well, he
to,
can also submit another
Yes.
RFP. So we're gonna keep it competitive. That's what we need to do.
yes, but it has to be a legislative approved
Right.
okay.
accountant.
Right.
In your process of this RFP or whatever, when you do limit it to however many you're gonna be, will we, as a board or a couple of us, have conversation with that person prior to?
You should meet with each one of them. When we hired HSA, some of you guys met with them before the decision was made.
Okay, I guess then I'm putting this out there and asking then, when we do get to that point that you have some people that you want to consider whatever, would you let us know, and whoever can meet with them, and we'll sit down and conversate with them. And my opinion on the legislative auditor is this. They literally come and they work for us. They work for this board. They don't work for Ms. Hollis, really. They work for this board because we are the money managers here. We're the ones that are ultimately responsible. Anything goes wrong, it's us. So I think the board needs to begin to develop a relationship with our legislative auditor, get to know who it is, understand his process, and just have some more input into it.
And also the fee accountant. Matter of fact, any vendor that we have, our normal process is whenever we do RFP, all proposals that are submitted is given to the board for review. You guys get a copy of it. So there's not a limit. It's just who responds.
Yeah. Okay. So I do support, now that I'm really getting the gist of something going in my head here, having a legislative auditor, but I'm hoping that we get to know this person and what he does for us and the rules and stuff that govern him and govern us in this matter. An audit is a very important, if not one of the most important things that gives the public a picture of who we are and where we are. So I'm hoping we will just be more involved in that process. So I would say I would
Mr.
support
Vice
it.
Chair, I'd like to pass a motion
Yes,
to
sir.
approve the resolution requesting authorization to solicit a legislative auditor. Resolution 2-22-29-11.
Motion by Commissioner Bailey, seconded by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes unanimously. So this other resolution, Ms. Hollis, with the PHA plan,
CMAP. CMAP is the way that our Section 8 program is monitored and scored. We get a score. The last time our last Section 8 CMAP was in 2019. We scored a 97. In 2021, we got a waiver because of COVID shutdowns. So this will be the first one since 2019. Very comfortable with it. That's what we hired the consultant from. We kind of figured we had some issues. The consultant came in, found some things, and we done cleared it up. Matter of fact, they're going to be in town. They're in Fort Worth. Circular, the person that's assigned to us, is in Fort Worth. She'll be in town. She'll be in the office Tuesday, and she'll be in the office Wednesday. Circular is the consultant that we have. They're pricey, but they're good, and they represent the entire River Parish. And what they've done is they brought us together. So Dana, Stacy, and myself, and now Benjamin Bell.
when you say that, those people are regional executive directors of housing
So they're
authority?
they're
I'm just trying to
housing authorities in different parishes.
That's what I was.
The river parishes, St. James, St. John.
And where is Bell?
Bell is now in Jefferson.
That's not, I just wanted to get it out. There was
And
other
we're all
people.
circular clients. So, on yesterday, I was kind of frustrated. I'm working on that, and I'm getting so much better. But I was frustrated because I got a phone call at 2:27 saying that we didn't submit our CMAP by this morning, this day, that we would immediately be labeled as trouble. I didn't get the information until 2:27, but Circular had already put us on it, so we were all working together. This morning, this day, CMAP was submitted. So what we need to do before I've submitted it. I've submitted the certification. It is required that certification has a resolution from the board authorizing that it is okay.
And is that resolution in this packet here?
You just read it.
Is it right here? Oh, well.
This is
It's
solicit.
the last one. It's under the pink sheet. They got a pink sheet that says CMAP.
You look at the wrong, you have the other packet probably.
See, look, here, take mine. Take this.
You're in a different packet. That's why I'm not seeing it yet.
Here, this one is already available.
I want to believe it's in my packet too. Still not. Okay, here we go.
The CMAP application is
Got
underneath
it.
the resolution so that you can see it.
Wow. Okay. So we need to read this one into the record also.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, resolution 2022-29-29. Sorry. Resolution 22-29-11. Approving SCPHA's Section H8 Management Assessment Program, CMAP certification for fiscal year ending September 30, 2022. Whereas on November 29, 2022, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development published a final rule adopting the Section 8 Management Assessment Programs, it's called CMAP, and whereas the CMAP has established 4 indicators to measure the housing agency management performance, and whereas the 14 CMAP indicators and 1 bonus indicators are 1. Selection from the waiting list, 2. Reasonable rent, 3. Determination of adjusted income, 4. Utility allowance schedule, 5. Housing quality standards, quality control inspection, 6. 8. Housing quality enforcement, 7. Expanding the housing opportunities, 8. Fair market rent limits and payments standards, 9. Annual reexaminations, 10. Correct tenant rent calculations, 11. Pre-contract HQS inspections, annual HQS inspections, 13. Lease up, and 14. Family self-sufficiency enrollment and escrow account. Whereas St. Charles Parish Housing Authority has completed the CMAP certification for fiscal year ending September 30, 2022 for electronic submission to HUD by the submission deadline of November 29, 2022. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Board of Commissioners approve St. Charles Parish Housing Authority Section 8 Management Assessment Program 2022 certification for submission to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and authorizes the Executive Director to submit the certification electronically by November 29, 2022.
And I want to also state, just so that everyone is comfortable, we communicated this in email. Miss Andy Clark, she sent the email reminding me of the conversation I had, and I respond. And she also stated in there that she was aware of the fact that I was submitting it today and it would be approved tonight. Everyone read that email, right?
I didn't go through emails today, to be honest. Okay. Let me read the last sentence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The last
I thought
sentence
you
to
was
this motion. It says, "Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately." With that having been read, any questions or comments, or we would take a motion.
So Vice Chair, I'd like to pass a motion to approve Resolution 2022-29-11, approving St. Charles Parish Housing Authority Section 8 Management Assessment Program, CMAP, certification for the fiscal year ending in September 30th, 2022.
A motion by Commissioner Bailey, second by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Unanimously, it is passed. Okay. Now, we're gonna get this big stack out of the way. So that takes us to we're gonna just do, I do want us to go into executive session for a few minutes.
Okay,
Please.
pass the motion.
But just so we get this one out of the way, we're gonna go to skip the public comments, if that's okay?
Which one? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Right now, we'd like to just open the floor for public comments, if any. Seeing no one in the public, we'll close the public comments. And we'll move on to our executive session. Take a motion.
Motion to move into executive session.
A second.
Motion by Commissioner Belloc, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Going into executive session, we're going to be discussing personnel issues and our recent financial audit.
Staff, thank you guys. I'm so proud of y'all. I would
Thank y'all
love
for
to see
coming.
the group.
Thank y'all for coming out. Try to move it around so you can get out of here.